Corvinus is inside. His attitude has become quite a bit more cooperative overnight. He will talk if he survives, meaning if we can restrain Bestia. We all have different ways of dealing with grief. I've sent him away. He's probably drowning his sorrows in wine now. The Consul has announced that he wants to question this criminal himself, so I expect him to send some of his lictors our way. We are prepared for them. Nevertheless, we will be ready if he does. She was supposed to be here. I don't know what she's doing. At once.
Everything is silent. He whimpers like a wounded dog. But silence is in the air. He tried to lick me. His tongue is, but not all his teeth. He is not worth saving. He is caught. He is evil. Does not matter if he dies. He deserves eternal torment. Fine.
Well, here we go again. You want to try your hand at torturing me as well? And if I don't want to answer, then why am I alive? Ask then. Let's get this over with. For too long. He hired me back when he assumed control of Weeksy. Of course not. Weeksy existed in one form or another for hundreds of years. Felix is only the latest of its commanders. I'm no fanatic, though. He merely hired me as a contingency. I am loyal to my contract. Besides, all of his loyal guards are dead, thanks to you. If I have to choose between loyalty and death, I don't have to ponder my options for long. It's not just money. Lurko is a very intelligent man, and I respect that. He plans ahead, and he rarely leaves things to chance. It is the first serious misstep I have ever seen him make. You have got him powerfully rattled. That's why he will never face you in the Senate. That's why he sent me to assassinate you at last. Not out of any personal animosity. With Marcellus and his useless brutes gone, it was up to me to finish the job. That wasn't me. He hired someone else for that. My job was simply to get rid of you. The Consul obviously hoped you'd get yourself killed in Gallia. I guess this was his contingency plan. You of all people should know that warfare is about positioning. Once you can cover any possible move your foe might make, victory is a natural outcome. Merely by trying to win from such a position, your enemy defeats himself. Anger won't serve you well against this man. Look, I'm getting bored of this. We both know you're not going to kill me, and I've told you all I know. Frankly, none of this is any use to you. For all I know, me getting caught is part of Lurko's plan. So, hand me over to the authorities and let me face charges. Because that would be illegal, and you would have defeated yourself. It will never come to that.
No problem. See you soon.
Did he talk?
That is comforting. I'm glad we have him.
What do we do now?
This is so unlike him. Usually he has a plan. I wonder if the whole Corvinus business was a distraction. Distraction from what?
That could be a benefit of all this, but if you couldn't make him talk...
I might want to meet him myself. If you ask the right questions, you can make anyone talk.
I took precautions. The Consul of Rome cannot leave the city unnoticed. I thought they'd be with you. I haven't seen any of your companions since yesterday.
Come to think of it, Cato wanted to meet us here too. But he's late. He should be here any moment now. Don't worry. Cato is a smart man who knows how to handle a gladius.
There he is.
Your Praetorian Guard is captured in front of the Senate. We must hurry! It seems he has them arrested for a number of crimes.
He is still dictator. He can do whatever he wants.
I fear there is nothing we can do to stop him within the bounds of the law.
Political theater. He has gathered a crowd and he's calling you out. You must be very careful. The lives of your friends are at stake. I'll try to gather some Praetores. This is blatantly illegal, but I guess he's finally given up all pretense.
He is desperate. Be very careful. Desperate men do stupid things. I'll come with you to witness the situation.
Keep him occupied until I can bring help. Don't antagonize him.
I will come with you as well.
Traitor to the Republic! Murderer of Romans! Enemy of the people! I have had your co-conspirators arrested, and they are patiently waiting for their moment of execution. But my own patience is wearing thin. I know villains like you do not have a sense of honor or virtue. Nevertheless, I know you were at least born Roman. If you have a speck of honor left, confess and surrender.
Consul, what are you doing? You can't publicly execute people without trial. Our laws forbid such despotism.
As dictator, prescription is well within my rights. The people of Rome saw fit to grant me that power. Who are you to question the wisdom of the people? As long as Rome remains in crisis, I shall remain dictator. Your traitor friends are rightfully apprehended. If you want them, you'll have to go through me. It clearly isn't. You are still alive, aren't you? You always worked against me, when the only thing I wanted was to build a strong Rome. Just like your father, you are envious of what I will achieve. Great works are built on bloodshed. Sacrifices must be made.
Then make your sacrifice yourself, coward.
Unless your intention is to bore me to death, I would like to start executing these criminals.
This is bullshit! Those people are heroes! They've done nothing wrong! Let them go!
You have lost your control, Lurko! Look at the faces of these people, your fellow citizens! They're afraid!
Only criminals and traitors should be afraid of me.
They're afraid of what you have turned the Republic into. That fear will turn into anger the moment anyone decides to stand up and protect the Republic.
You're a good tactician. Consider your position now. Your prisoners are the only advantage you possess. But they're only valuable while they're still alive. The Legatus can wait until you turn yourself into a murderer.
Or we can simply kill you and save them all. Then you will have achieved nothing here.
You wouldn't do that. You're men of law and order.
You still fail to think like a warrior. Your foe is in front of you. Strike him down and be done with it!
He can't kill us. He doesn't have the balls to do something like that. He knows he will be condemned.
I look forward to seeing my sister again, and to tell her that I'm sorry. My only regret is to die at the hands of such a pathetic man.
I've shed blood in the name of Rome since the day I was born, and today shall be no different. Let him execute us, if that's what it takes to save the Republic. It's not for nothing. It's for everything.
Enough! Make your decision.
What are you doing? You're giving up the high ground. This is what he wants. You'll be no better than him.
Don't listen to Kikero. The lives of your friends are worth more than your career. Let us end this.
They're coming this way! Run!
Don't let these limp-dick bastards kill us!
hit me, you fool!
You did exactly what I anticipated, Legate. This is perfect.
I highly doubt that. This angry mob seems to be quite a lot more than you bargained
I've got
for,
this
Zerko.
direction covered.
You shall regret.
If anyone moves, they get an arrow.
Get the lictors! Get anyone!
My friend, cut us loose! We want to join the fight! Perhaps I need someone to help me here!
You've sealed your own fate. Your brazen attack has all but guaranteed my control of Rome.
You have no control. Look around you, you madman. Look at the chaos you caused.
anyone!
Cut us loose! Come on! You need our help!
Prisoners! They are no longer any use to us.
Lictus, lay down your arms and surrender, in the name of the Republic!
Beast is down, but not dead.
Drop your weapon, citizen. Step away from the consul. It pains me to say this, but you'll have to come with us.
Do as the Praetor says. There's not much I can do at this point.
Why did you do this? Everything we've ever done, was it all for nothing in the end?
It's a selfless act, Kaiser. The final sacrifice of the finest commander Rome has ever known. Don't count on it.
Let's go.
You look miserable. You don't smell like you've had a bath in a while.
I had a chat with Kato. He says not even Kikero can save you. Why did you do it? We were ready to die for you. Thank you.
I see no reason why we have to leave you in there. You may be waiting to be exiled, but they will never let you live. You're too dangerous. So, do you want to get out of here?
That is for us to decide.
Enough, Kaiso. He made his decision. We must respect it.
Wale, my friend. I will never forget you.
You did well. You did very well. Thank you.
Thank you for showing me the very best of Rome.
The spirits will remember you. The winds will sing your name in their songs. This is not the end.
The sacrifice of the savior of Rome has long since passed into legend. The historian's task is often to distill true events from the myths that are shared among people. But in this case, it proves nearly impossible to do so. It is said that the execution of Rome's savior led to 12 days of sorrow among its people. His corpse was taken from the temple by a mob stricken mad with grief and burned in the Forum on a pyre built from the stolen furniture of every building on the Capitolium. Senators, eager to curry populist favor, declared his day of death to be a public holiday. Many built shrines of worship and reverence to their sacrificed hero. Whether these accounts are untrue or perhaps exaggerated, one thing is beyond doubt. Though he had given his life to do so, he had saved the Republic from the brink of tyranny and the temptation of empire. It is thanks to his noble sacrifice that our democracy has only grown stronger and that our Republic endures to this day. Cynaros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a Servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cynaros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old Dominus, whose death had incited this story. His cowardly murder had robbed him of any opportunity to see his homeland again. Though he met his end with dignity, he was forever denied the forgiveness and the vindication that he had sought for the mistakes of his youth. Caeso left Rome with Lucia and their daughter. They traveled to Africa, as Caeso remembered the warm nights and the lush Nile Delta fondly. Here they found a place to settle and made a peaceful home for their family. Though their relationship was distant at first, their devotion to their child drew them together, and their affection for each other grew stronger through the years. To his surprise, Caeso took well to fatherhood, and soon he and Lucia had many more children. Devastated by the loss of her beloved, Callida left Rome in grief. She felt haunted by her past misdeeds, cursed to never find love and happiness again. She traveled north into Gallia, where she settled into a new life of hunting and forestry. In time, she did become happy there. She even found a new man to love, one who treated her well, who loved her for who she was, and who would never sacrifice what they had together for politics or ideals. After the death of his friend, Bestia returned to the arena once more. But he was no longer a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the example of his Magister Cynaros. He applied himself to this new calling with every bit of the vigor and determination that had made him a champion before. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her, and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life. With nothing left to keep her in Rome, Deianira returned to her homelands in Scythia, where she reconnected with her family. Far from condemning her for her sister's death as she had feared, they were all overjoyed to have at least one of their daughters back. In time, Deianira built a new family in Scythia and became a revered matriarch of her tribe. She never left them again. Vitellius Scaevola left Roman politics and moved to Upper Latium with his wife Liviana, where they raised their children together in peace. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics. Grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change, he remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of the more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. With Mithridates dead and his sons lacking his ability to rule, Pontus was soon annexed by Rome. The region never again rose to prominence. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Grateful for the mercy he had been shown, and no longer with Mithridates to tempt his greed, Damianos quickly resumed political leadership of Thracia. Here, the gladiator rebellion that had started in his school was threatening to spiral out of control. Thanks to Damianos, the gladiators were pacified quickly, and without inordinate bloodshed. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diotyrchus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arverni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures. With his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. If the savior of Rome had fled into exile, would the absence of such a shining example of duty and sacrifice have left the Senate door open for another aspiring despot to take the throne? Or, if Vitellius Lurco had not been struck down on that stage, would the death of an innocent hero of Rome have served as an equally strong example to the citizens and senators? Most intriguingly of all, if the Legion had crossed the Rubicon on that fateful day, might Rome now be no longer a republic, but an empire? One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.